Time for Thinking Real Estate. Laura's on assignment, so today the Jackie Austin Show.
Hi,
Good morning, Jackie.
how are you?
Okay, good. Good.
I love when you always
I'm good. It's
hesitate.
almost 10 o'clock.
I am, okay. Well, I brought with me a guest today, Todd Jones from Mid-State Title.
Good morning, how are you?
Good. I was just trying to think of what we could talk about today, and I thought, the whole real estate transaction is a long process from searching for houses all the way to the closing, and I thought, well, we haven't talked about title companies in a while, so.
They're mysterious.
They are. Yeah, they are.
I don't think people really know what a title company is.
They don't know what it is. They don't know what they do. They know they have to pay a fee for it, but that's about all they
Yeah.
know.
We are the place where the transaction ended.
Yeah.
I had some Tootsie Rolls, a sucker, and I signed where they told me to sign, and I left with the keys.
Right.
That's where my title insurance is. Actually, it's a lot more than that, obviously. And you talk about the process of real estate. My gosh, you see the house that looks cute, and you get pre-approved, and then you find an agent, and you look at it, and you don't like it, and you look at 10 more, and you finally get an offer, and you go through the process, and you end up in my office, or American Title, downtown Jackson, and it ends. But basically what title insurance is in a nutshell, and I came up with this at the Community Action Agency. I talk there once a month to first-time home buyers. And title insurance insures the past. Your car insurance, your homeowner's insurance, it insures what's going to happen to you or what could happen to you. I could hit a deer, I could be in a hurricane, I need insurance for that. Title insurance, we check for liens, we check for sidewalk assessments, that second mortgage that comes up and bites you, that falls on us. But we do a search back in time to make sure that you have a clean title and you can go ahead and close that property.
Right. I know when I'm, from my perspective, the title company actually does quite a bit. And like we know, the customer doesn't really know because you guys work closely with the real estate agents. But you guys do everything from putting together the full package of everything they have to sign at closing, pulling together the numbers, making sure everything's right, looking back at the records on the property, making sure there's nothing hidden there that's going to jump up and bite somebody after they close.
Yep, you summed it up in a nutshell. And a lot of times, and it's getting a lot better, but it used to be where people would shake hands and give hugs and say, "I'm really sorry, I said that the other day." Are we still friends? And
Right. Yeah.
Did you ever think we'd get here? And yes, but folks, it is a lot better now. The transaction process is a lot better. It's a lot easier, but there is a lot that goes on, and a lot of behind the scenes things that goes on between the realtor, the lender, and the title company, which is one of the many reasons why I think you should keep everything local,
Yes.
without a doubt. And I don't think a buyer or seller really needs to know everything that it did take to get that deal done. And it's kind of funny to see the lender and the realtor kind of look at each other and smile and wink and say, "Hey, we got it done, that was a good one." and you kind of go from there. So, but there is a lot of behind the scenes things, and I guess one thing, if I could beat the message, is just go local.
Right.
Go local with your lender, your realtor, and your title company.
Well,
Todd, what are the pratfalls that will blow a deal up that you run into? Something common.
Oh, a lot of times it's from the underwriter, from the lender. There's a stipulation they want that can't be met, or they change up their credit score, or something sneaks up, and it's just a lot of different things that can kill a deal. A lot of times I'll be talking to an agent and we're tracking this property. "Hey, when's it going to close? When's it going to close?" He said, "Oh, it fell through." Sometimes I don't even ask anymore. It's just, pat them on the shoulder and move on to the next one. But there are things that come up, in a search. What if there's a second mortgage there, or a lien? Sometimes homeowners don't even know if there's a lien on their property.
Yeah.
You can put a lien on a property and they don't even know it. So that can pop up. "Well, I don't have the money for that." Well,
Do you see that very often, though?
no, you don't, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's better to be safe than sorry. And the thing you can pretty much bank on, in my life anyway, if it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen to me. So the deal I want to do, I find that lien, and here we go. And I'm just so thankful that I did, go through a title company.
Right. Well, the other thing that I find that title companies help with is making sure that the right people are signing the right documents and things
Oh,
like
and
that.
that's a deal killer right there. I mean,
Right.
if it's not done, they have to come back, or everything's taxes are prorated. You have to redo everything.
Right. Well, and if the, for example, an estate, if it's an estate, we got to make sure the right person is signing
Right.
the right things.
The
they have
letters
the
of
right
authority, are they
documentations.
stamped and sealed and signed by
filed?
all parties and filed? And I've run down to the Register of Deeds a couple times. Matter of fact, it was kind of weird. It was, I think, 3 times in 1 week. I had to run down to the courthouse and get another signature on the letters of authority for an estate. And, no one really knew I did that. Well,
Right.
Of course, you all do now. But,
It's your chance to brag a little bit.
and the thing is, I go down to the courthouse and I always see somebody I know, and I'm just going there for just business. And they're like, "What did you do?" And I'm like, "Well,
Yeah.
business, sir."
So, I have a friend who actually, she purchased a house in the Lansing area, and it was like 5 or 6 years ago she bought the house. And
Did you get a referral out of it?
well, I did actually, I think. But she just recently found out that she has a title issue, and so she called me up, of course, and is telling me the story about how the deed wasn't properly transferred like 3 transfers ago, and now she's having to deal with the issue. And I said, well, you need to call your title company.
Exactly. And things are changing now. But back in the day, a few years ago, we would do what's called a witness only or a courtesy closing. That's with all the bank foreclosures. Just a ton of them, as you well know.
Oh,
And
yes.
now it's much better. It's actually a very good market. But people would come in and say, "I have an issue that just came up here. 5 years down the road, I closed here, and sorry, it was a witness only. We didn't do any searching, we didn't do any insuring for sure. We just made sure you signed where you needed to sign. We didn't even work the deal up, and it's you hate to send people away,
Right.
and you do your best, and it's just it's like, oh my gosh, I love those calls that come in and, yep, we closed in 2006. I'm like, okay, I was 20 back then. Well, not 20, but anyway, it's like, okay.
Kind of.
And what a pain. And the thing, and again, I'm beating that local drum. Local is great because you can walk into our door, or you can walk into American Title's door, and you can say, "Hey, I have this issue, this came up," which is few and far between because we both do a very good job. But we can address it, and we can take care of it.
Right.
Todd, what's the relationship between the bank and the title company?
We love each other.
Or the lender?
Actually, it's pretty good. We're all in the same boat. In my opinion, I think it's a triple-headed monster. Realtors.
I mean, are you
lenders,
just
and title.
making sure the numbers all fit?
Yeah, we have to make sure there's guidelines met by the underwriter, and we need this. We need letters of authority. We need we have to have this information. So we make sure it's all there, and we relay it to the lender. Say we have to get all your you have your ducks in a row now. We have our ducks in a row, and let's put them all together and have one big happy pond, and get everything in order. It's called the package. The packet.
package,
Working it up. And sometimes it's great when you get them 5 minutes before the closing, but typically it's something you want the day before.
Yeah, and part of that is putting together the HUD sheet, which is like the final numbers of the closing. It shows all of the expenses, the purchase price, all the credits and debits between the buyers and sellers, and works out to make sure everything's balanced and everything like that. It's a very complicated form, but certain things need to go in certain packet or certain areas on the form, and I know there are certain limits that lenders can't exceed with their fees and things like that.
Right. In a perfect world, a closing is just a formality because everybody got the information ahead of time, whether it's a couple hours before or whatever. But all questions that they had are answered. All numbers match up. Everything makes sense, and you just come in and sign. Now, does that always happen? No. It's not a perfect world. It's pretty close, but it's not perfect. But we, as in the realtors, the lenders, and the title company, we all do our best to make sure that goes smooth and most importantly, correctly. But like I said, in a perfect world, you come in, you sign, you know the numbers because you've been told, and everything's great. You're out the door.
Right. Well, and, going back to local title companies, that helps as well. I know when we work with foreclosures, when I write a purchase agreement on a foreclosure, our purchase agreement just flat out says we're going to use a local title company. Doesn't matter who the seller uses on their side. We want a local representative insuring our clients.
Yep.
So.
And I see the looks on the faces of the girls in the office when it's I'm not going to name names, but it's an out-of-town lender. Oh, great. And then I see the look on their face when it's a local lender. Oh, great, and they mean it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we strongly encourage local lenders too, because you can walk into a local lender and knock on their door if you have an issue. If you have an out of town one, it might be a 3-hour drive before you can get to their office.
Call the 800 number and leave a message.
Exactly.
Is it simply communication, or are there other issues, Ted?
I think communication is
Communication
biggest-
is a big
huge.
one, but also knowing the market. An out of town lender isn't gonna. They're not going to have as much control over using local appraisers, local title companies, things like that. So just knowing the market, and when an underwriter is looking at something and they're in California, first of all, you've got a 3-hour time difference you got to deal with, which is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then secondly, they don't even know where Jackson, Michigan is,
Or
so
care.
they don't care. So yeah, just all those the local people want things to happen well in Jackson,
and as you keep working with people, you want to continually answer the bell and keep doing a good job so they keep coming back.
Yeah.
And I think both parties want to do that, and it really works. The local deals go way better than the out of town deals.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of fact.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's also accountability. If there's
Sure.
somebody you're going to run into on the street, you don't want to treat them bad.
Sorry about that.
So you get a little bit of a better, hands-on experience there. So let's talk about the market a little bit. What are you seeing from your perspective? How are things going?
I just want to shoot you straight, and it's going really well. We have a healthy market in Jackson, and it's about time we get to say that. 2 or 3 years ago, I wouldn't be able to say that.
Right.
My company handles a lot of foreclosed deals, and you can just throw numbers out there. 2 or 3 years ago, if we had 10 closings in a day, 8 or 9 of them might have even been a bank.
Mm-hmm.
Where we do our witness closing, where we do our courtesy closing, and the prices were just incredibly low, and it was just funny. People would say, oh yeah, the market's really bad, and I just wanted to look at them and go, it's worse than you think. Now, however, I can look them in the eye and say it's a great time to buy or sell, in my opinion. We'll throw the 10 closings out there again, and maybe 8 or 9 of them have a human collecting a check at the end of the closing. It's a real deal, what we call it in the business. And it's great to see. And when I say it's a good time to buy and sell, prices, well, for one, rates are really good still.
Mm-hmm.
They're very good. And if I want to sell, prices have gone up. They've recovered a little bit, but as a buyer, there's still good buys out there too.
Mm-hmm.
And when you sell your house, you can go and get another good deal. You can get a fair deal on your house and get a good deal when you're buying. So it's actually a really good time to be in real estate right now and make a move on your house.
Are you in the prediction business?
Always.
What about rates? What do you think's gonna?
I think they're going to go up. I think housing prices are going to go up, and I think rates are going to go up. So,
Slowly?
yeah, if you haven't refied yet, I'd do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't done it in the last couple of years, I don't know what rates are right now, but
Yeah, I don't know exactly what they are right this second either, but we're still looking,
Under 5.
under,
right?
Yeah.
between 5 and 6, depending on your credit score. So, even if you have a poor credit score, you can probably still get a 6% interest rate.
Okay.
So it's,
I thought they were
Things
around
like
5, so
yeah.
you learn something every day.
Right. So, it all depends on credit scores and all that stuff. So
Sure.
just giving an idea. So last week I had a HUD closing with you guys. And you guys did an owner's policy for the buyer because HUD doesn't provide title
Correct.
insurance.
That's new.
So
which is good.
yeah, so I just kind of wanted to touch on the HUD process a little bit because I don't think we've ever really talked about that on this show.
Sure.
HUD houses are houses that are owned by HUD, which is a government agency. They're foreclosures, and HUD puts those houses on the market at rock bottom prices. They have a very specific process that they go through where the house comes on the market for, I think it's 2 weeks approximately, where only people that are going to use that house as their primary residence can bid on it. And 9 times out of 10, I would say they probably sell in that 2 weeks. There are the occasions where they don't. After that 2 weeks, then it opens up and investors can bid on it and things like that. And the one that I did last week happened to be an owner-occupied. She's a first-time home buyer. She's getting this house for a great price in the neighborhood she wanted. and she's so excited.
That's one of the things that makes real estate fun.
Yeah, exactly. So what I did is when we wrote this offer, I came to you guys and said, all right, I've got a HUD house and you guys need to insure it. So what I told her is she's getting an owner's policy. What exactly does that mean to her?
She has local title insurance.
Okay.
Before, back in the day, you had to, somebody else would insure your HUD home. And again, they would close it mid-state a lot, and as a courtesy or a witness. And what that ensures them is she can walk in the door if there's an issue and say, hey, I have an issue, this is your deal. And we can say, yep, you're right, let's take care of it. HUD, not too long ago, they changed it where you have to go. You have to choose your own title company.
Which is great.
Which is great. So you can use one or two in town. And but the whole HUD process, it is a process. It's a great word. And if you're out there buying a HUD home or in the market and you see a HUD home that you like, just don't ask questions. Ask questions, but just take the word of what your agent's telling you. If they need something and it's going to be in a certain time frame or whatever, believe them. Just be patient.
Yes.
Take a deep breath. And the thing about the HUD homes is they're already appraised.
They are, yes.
So you know you're getting fair market value at the worst.
At the worst,
And,
yeah.
and you know, and who's to say if they'll, you know, if they're locked into the price or whatever, but that's all in the negotiation. But at least you know what it appraises for.
Right. Well, the one thing I like about the HUD process is it's a very specific process. So it's an online bidding system. You don't know who you're bidding against, which is a downfall for buyers because they have no clue if there's 100 people bidding or nobody bidding. But you put your bid in, and then HUD has a very specific formula for figuring out if they're going to take that bid. So you really know, like, within a day or two if you're going to get that house or not, for the most part, unless you're in the first 2 weeks. But it's a very specific process, and I like it for buyers, especially cash buyers that can get in there quick and need to get into a place quick. It's actually a pretty good process.
There's probably buyers that are out looking for HUD homes.
There are, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I get calls all the time. I'm looking for a HUD house. I'm like, all right, well, let's look at everything on the market because you might be able to get a good deal.
Is that easy
anywhere.
to track down?
HUD houses are. They have a website. Actually, you can go to HUDhomestore.com,
Okay.
and they list all of their properties right on there.
Who would figure that?
I know. So, yeah, it's a great process. You do have to have a realtor to make any bids. So, just give us a call, 780-3800, and we can do that for you.
Nice quick plug,
There
Jane.
you
Well
go.
I'm
done.
good at that.
That's her show.
So, we've only got a minute left. I do have a couple properties to talk about, so thank you, Todd, for coming in.
Hey, thank you so much for
Nice
having
job,
me.
Todd.
Thank you.
The properties that I have, I've got a new listing at 202 5th Street. This one actually was on the market a while ago. The sellers took it off and rented it for a while, but it's got lots of updates. It's a cute 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. It's in Vandercook Lake, and it's 53.1 is what we have it listed for. A lot of updates, including newer carpet, newer flooring throughout, the deck has been freshly stained, things like that. So come on and take a look at it. And then I have a price reduction at 740 West Washington, which is right across, it's right by 7th Street actually, Washington. $90,000 is what the prices come down to. 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths. That one's got a ton of living space on the first floor. It's got a formal living room and a family room and a formal dining room. All
Nice
kinds
neighborhood.
of space. A nice neighborhood, great neighborhood. So give us a call, 780-3800 or thinkingrealestate.com.
Good job, Jackie.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Jackie Austin, Thinking Real Estate.
Are you or your parents moving into an assisted living community?
2 men in a truck help. Most people underestimate